How's it going? I'm V Duncan, and this is me giving you a better idea of what it's like to be Indigenous. I'm sorry it took me a little bit to get this video on the go. I've been kind of going over in my head things that need to be addressed. Like all this free stuff, all this free healthcare, all the free housing, free food, free everything. Do you really think that if we got all this free stuff, that we would be working? I don't know about you, but like when I can be lazy as fuck, I will be lazy as fuck, and I'm not gonna go work. So why are we working? If if I get a free home and free schooling, why am I working minimum wage jobs and getting paid shit money because no one will hire me? And the only fucking places that'll hire me are fucking places that'll rip you off. Why am I doing that? Why am I trying to fix my credit so I can get a student loan? You know what? Why do I need to get a student loan if I get all this free stuff? You know, you don't get free money. Or, I mean, some tribes, yeah, they get distribution checks because either they have a casino on their land or the city is leasing land off of them, and some companies give them a certain amount a year. But when a lot of those contracts were signed, interest rates weren't included. So, they kind of hosed us. So, let's talk about this free healthcare that we have. It covers like the bare minimum. I can maybe have two fillings a year. I mean, yeah, for a lot of people that's a lot. Like two fillings, that's a lot of fucking money. So some dentist is, but that's the bare minimum. I when I go to the doctors and I get prescriptions, they do not cover non-narcotic alternatives. When I was quitting drinking by myself and I was trying to detox at home, I asked for a non-narcotic alternative, and it came up to $114, and I was like, why? And they said that your insurance wouldn't cover this, but it'll cover Valium, it'll cover Ativan, but it won't cover this non-narcotic alternative. I can't even remember the name of the drug right now, but that's besides the point. Anyway, I don't get that all this free stuff, and again, if you think that this healthcare system that it's provided is gonna make up for the loss of identity and the loss of language and culture and my history as an Indigenous person, as a shoe swap member, you can have it all back if you can give me my language. You can have everything. If you can give me my language, I'll give it all back. You can fucking have every single fucking penny. Because you know what? I would give anything to know my language. I would give anything to know what it's like to be shoe swap. To really be shoe swap. Not this ideal that we had or have. I don't know. I don't know. I know what my grandpa taught me, but not all of that's from our culture. I know what my grandma taught me, but she also lost stuff from the schools. So you can have it back. They say that we have this awesome healthcare system, and to work with my mental health care, to to work with up here, to work with all that trauma that I've gone through, the abuse, sexual abuse, the physical abuse. It's if I'm not in a major city, none of that shit's available. You go to outside reservations outside of major cities up north, they don't have therapists up there. They have to come here to the big city, and they have to make an appointment either 3 to 6 months in advance. And not all of them drive, not all of them can afford it because we don't get all this free shit that you're talking about. We don't get all this free money. So they can't drive down here just to come see one doctor that is qualified to see us because that's what's wrong with our system. I want to see indigenous, a doctor that specializes in the mental health issues that I have, and I need to see one doctor that my non-insured benefits cover. One doctor in Edmonton. One specialist that'll help me deal with this. And because Alberta is privatized, you have to have a credit card for a lot of these places because they want you to put either a $50 deposit down in case you miss an appointment, which is understandable, but if I have this great health care, why am I paying that $50 deposit? And if I miss that appointment without giving them at least 24 hours notice, like if something bad happens, something comes up, I have to start that process all over again. So then I have to wait another. They told me this. They said that we will not see you for 6 months if you miss an appointment and not give us 24 hours notice. Life happens sometimes, and phones die. People get stuck in places. People end up in hospitals. Life happens, and these people want to charge you for that. They want to charge us for that. The people that have this great healthcare system that covers everything, I have to pay for, just like everyone else. If you miss an appointment there, you have to pay for it. So a lot of these qualified doctors, they have to go out to reservations, and they have to help other indigenous people, so their schedules are even smaller because they're only in the city 3 days a week, if that. And the government makes it even harder for these people that want to help us because these psychologists, these doctors, these psychiatrists, they all have to wait 3 to 6 months to get paid from our non-insured benefits. So what doctor wants to help us? What doctor wants to wait 3 to 6 months to receive money that should be there? Think about that. Because the majority of them, like, yeah, they make a lot of money, but I'm like everyone else. I don't want to wait 3 to 6 months to get paid, especially if the government's paying for it. That shit should be there in their bank account so they can help us. and it's not. We have to fork out money so we don't get all this free healthcare stuff that you guys think we get. I get two cavities dealt with a year. I'm allowed to have one cleaning a year with my benefits, but everything else that's important, either I have to pay for out of my pocket, or I have to sign a bunch of paperwork and get everything sent into the Indian Affairs office, and they deal with all of that. And it usually takes up to 45 business days to get an approval. That's if you get an approval. Not everyone gets an approval. So if I have to get an emergency pull and I need some emergency work done, I have to wait 45 days just to see if I get an approval. How great is our healthcare system? It's not that great. A lot of doctors don't want to see Indigenous people because we deal with addiction and a lot of trauma that they can't deal with. They don't know how. They don't, they're doctors, but they don't specialize in dealing with us. So I have a lot of doctors that don't want to deal with me. The doctor that I'm dealing with right now up in North Edmonton, he doesn't want to give me the proper prescriptions to get off the medication that I'm on. I want a mood stabilizer, but I need to get onto something else because the mood stabilizer causes excessive weight gain. I get fucking hungry at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and I eat half of my fridge, and people say, well, why don't you just not eat? Because I'm so hungry that I almost puke. That's how hungry I am. They don't want to cover this other alternative drug that's out there for me. I applied for the alternative. I put in the application so I can get the medication covered, but I won't know for another 4 weeks. I put that application in 2 weeks ago. No. 45 business days, so that's 8 weeks. So I have 6 weeks to go. And there's going to be holidays in that, so probably 9. That's if I get approved. So my doctor looks at me as an addict when I tell him, like, hey, this is my issue and this is what's going on. Because I told him, like, man, I get up and I'm so hungry I fucking eat everything in the fridge and then I get sick and it just sucks. And I don't want to be on this medication because of the side effect. But I have to wait for approval for the other medication, and they're trying this other medication, but then I run the risk of getting the serotonin poisoning or whatever, where I have too much serotonin, and it happens. And I've had it happen with trying to mix both medications because I'm trying to get off of the one and get onto the other, and they're both not helping each other, and it's just making me feel worse, so I think I'm going crazy. People wonder why I just kind of rant and don't sleep. It's because I can't get the right help. They told me that I need to go check myself in the hospital. Why do I have to go check myself in the hospital? They want me to go check in a mental health ward. I'm going to school. I'm taking care of myself. I'm doing all right. Just get me off this medication. When I tried to stop taking the mood stabilizer, I have anxiety that's fucking crippling. I go 2 days without the medication, and by the second day, I'm thinking everyone is out to get me, the whole world is ending, nothing's perfect, nothing I will do will ever be perfect. I'm a fucking holy shit. The world is gonna end right now, and that's my constant feeling when I try and stop taking the mirtazapine. Mirtazapine is what I'm trying to get off of. And it sucks. It's like trying to come off of Seroquel. When I don't have the Seroquel, when I don't have the mirtazapine, I lay up for days and days. And I think, and I don't know how to shut this off. And people wonder why Indigenous people are upset and we react the way that we react, because it's the kind of stuff that I deal with. My doctor won't listen to me. Other doctors won't listen to me. And you'll say it's like some sort of racial profile and shit when it's I say it's racial profiling. You say that don't. No, no. Doctors don't do that. Doctors do that. I've had one doctor in Alberta to actually listen to me, and I'm pissed because he's in Calgary and he's probably going to retire soon. He's probably retired by now. This old white doctor, this old white dude, actually listened to me and worked with me. Our mental health services, I've called the mental health link number a million times, and you know what? It's been 2 weeks since they said that I was going to have help, and no one's helped me. I've called, and nothing. So they're going to help me get a psychiatrist, help me find the right doctor that will get me the right medication. But a lot of them think I'm just looking for a fix. And if I really wanted to get a fix, do you know how easy it is for me just to go downtown, to go sit by the fucking... All I gotta go is sit in the city center. And I'll find that I won't even have to fucking walk up to anyone. Someone will come up to me and offer me some sort of Gabby, Valium, Ativan. They'll offer me that. And I wouldn't have to go to the doctors and try and get it professionally. So if you think our healthcare system as Indigenous people is amazing, think again. Now to the free money. The most I've ever gotten from my tribe is $150. I've been a member for 32 years. And the most they've given me is $150. $150. Our land was not cedable. We did not sign treaties. We did not have farmers on our land. We don't have anything on our land. So we get nothing. I am a full status Indian. I am not treaty status. My people are signing a treaty. But because I don't live on the reservation, they don't help me. They help the people living there. They help their own, but not their own. And you think we Indigenous people have it so easy. You think when we leave the reservation and we come into the city that we get all this free money. I mean, yeah. Some of these like Cree people that I know, and Treaty 6 it is, they have farmers leasing their land and they get a certain amount a year, and I don't get that. The home that I was supposed to get on my reservation in Dog Creek, I had that taken away from me because I wasn't home, because I wasn't on the reservation. The one that my godmother left me was taken. And the house didn't even have electricity or running water. And the tribe took it from me. So I gotta live on the reservation, out in the bush, out in the middle of nowhere, where I get all this supposed free money, but I don't. God, I wish I got all that free money. I wouldn't work. I would be a lazy motherfucker and I would not work. I mean, yeah, some of these guys get welfare and they don't work, but that's because they have mental health issues that they're not dealing with. And some of them just weren't taught. So you guys rag on them. Instead of ragging on them, why don't you help build them up? Why don't you help them become productive members of society? Because you think we get all this free money when we don't. Most of us are poor. Most of us grew up poor. I grew up on programmed lunches. I grew up when I was living with my grandma. We had moose meat and salmon sandwiches. We never bought a whole lot of meat. We lived off the land. A lot of us can't do that anymore. People say, why don't you go hunting out in Alberta? Blah, blah, blah. A lot of this land is contaminated with the oil sands and all the bullshit that they've let pollute the land. So I'm afraid to eat the deer out here because I know they're sick. I've had indigenous people tell me from Musquechees that they can't go hunting in certain areas because the deer have rashes on them. Rashes. These people can't go hunt deer because of the rashes on their fucking, like, yeah, some of them, yeah, some of, I was told that half of Musquechees is rich and the other half is poor. But because everyone wants to focus on the rich half, they don't think about the poor half and they just say, fuck, all those Indians are just, they're just spoiled and they're acting fucking childish and they're acting like brats. When really it's like, yeah, there's one side that's has money and they're good to go, and the other side they just kind of leave them out. Like, they don't all get free money. Not all the Crees get free money. Not all the Ojibways get free money. Not all the Mohawks get free money. Yeah, certain band members do because a lot of our chief system and chief and council systems corrupt. And they keep the same families in there every year because we don't have all of these. We don't have. We don't have all this free shit that you think we have. A lot of us can't go to school because the government or the chief and band and council took away the adult education programs. And that was all done in like the 70s and 80s. And for me personally, I don't want to take that free money. I don't want to take those scholarships. Why? When I was working at Urban Diner, one of my coworkers, she said, God, I wish I was Indian. You guys get so much free like stuff. And it's like, really? I knew she didn't know, but it's still like, it drives me fucking crazy when people are like, oh man, I wish I was Indian. I wish I was Indian because you guys get all these free scholarships. There's lists of scholarships. And it's like, yeah, a lot of us don't want to take those scholarships because people make comments like that. I want to go out and get a student loan and I want to go prove to you that I am just like you. I pay taxes every year. That's something a lot of people don't think that we do. We pay taxes